sounds right up my alley. So I ordered it immediately from a used bookstore. I feel like I bought it and had it shipped for like $6 or something, or maybe less than that. It seemed like a deal. But it's called How They Croaked. And it says the awful ends of the awfully famous. It's kind of made, I think, for, kind of designed for youth, maybe. But that means nothing. There will still be a lot of really good information in here, I bet. It says, warning, if you don't have the guts for gore, do not read this book. Oh, I don't know how I feel about gore. Over the course of history, men and women have lived and died. That's a true fact. Whether someone had a lung explode, was stabbed to death, or croaked from a really bad sore throat, getting sick and dying tended to be a big, ugly mess, especially before modern medical care. From King Tut's ancient autopsy to Albert Einstein's great brain escape, these pages contain all the gory details of the awful ends of 19 awfully famous people. I was trying to remember which video the person commented about this book. I can't recall. Let's see who's mentioned in here. So this book says copyright 2011. Alright, who do we talk about? I'll see if any of these names ring a bell for who they may have been commenting on. King Tut, Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, Christopher Columbus, Henry VIII. I just swallowed so hard. Elizabeth I, Pocahontas. Oh, it could have been Galileo, maybe. But that was kind of a long time ago. This was more recent. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Marie Antoinette, George Washington, Napoleon Bonaparte, Ludwig van Beethoven, Edgar Allan Poe. I bet that's what it was. I read The Raven right before Halloween. Maybe that's the one she commented and talked about this book. Charles Dickens, James A. Garfield. Okay. I just finished watching a show on Netflix called, oh my gosh, my brain's blocking it, Lightning Strike by Lightning Strike. Wait. It was from a quote that Garfield said. But it's about Garfield and his assassin and his vice president. It was good. I liked it. I love all the actors in it. If you watched it, let me know what you thought. I wondered if people would enjoy that as much as I do. I love all the actors whose names I can't remember right now. And I like history. I like learning about true things, even, whatever. I mean, it's not a documentary. It's a fiction, like biopic or whatever, like based on truth. Marie Curie. Oh, that could be. Maybe. Albert Einstein. Okay, well, I don't remember exactly. King Tut. How does So maybe if I ever like do a video on these different people, we can, you know, read a little bit, maybe. Oh, look, this is fun. Things to do with old mummies, and it has all about old mummies. That's an interesting subject. I heard, there were so many mummies when they first started, like, digging up around Egypt, that they would grind up the mummies and make like a powder, and people would take it thinking it would make them like, I don't know, live longer. Oh, wait, look right here. Mummy medicine. For hundreds of years, the 13 to the 1800s, doctors believed burned and pulverized mummies made into oils and powders could cure abscesses, coughs, epilepsy, fractures, palpitations, paralysis, poisoning, rashes, and ulcers. Yuck. Side effects of swallowing mummy medicine: serious vomiting, evil smelling breath. Oh, yeah. Gross. Julius Caesar. Yeah, a lot of these could be interesting. Oh, look. Big meeting, Ides of March. I did a video on the Ides of March. If you're like, I don't know what that is, you can look up Ides of March. No Frills ASMR. It'll show up. Autopsy. Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. She was 39 years old. Crossword puzzles for dead. Oh, crossword puzzle words for dead. Okay, 4 letters. Cold, dull, gone. 5 letters. Inert, slain, quiet. 6 letters. Asleep, lapsed, muerto. 7 letters. Defunct, expired, extinct. 8 letters. Deceased, departed, lifeless, obsolete. 9 letters. Bloodless, inanimate, unfeeling. Okay. 10 letters. Breathless, lusterless, motionless, unexciting. 11 letters. Indifferent, ineffectual, inoperative. And 12 letters. Extinguished, unproductive. I gotta look at these 5 letters. I need some new Wordle. I still play Wordle all these years later. Inert, slain, quiet. Christopher Columbus. Scurvy. Scurvy is from lack of vitamin C. And so they'd carry limes on the ship to suck on limes because they realized that could help with scurvy. And that's why they'd call the sailors limeys. I think that's true. I think that's true. Henry VIII. Henry VIII. Henry VIII. Okay, feasting at the palace. Queen for a day. Oh, these are all the people. It would be kind of interesting to do him because he's the one who had all the wives. So, Catherine of Aragon. He was married, or at least time wearing the tiara, but didn't, I don't know, I'd have to look him up. 23 years, 11 months she wore the tiara, so they were divorced. So maybe she still wore it after the divorce. I don't know. Anne Boleyn, 3 years, 4 months. She was beheaded because I think he wanted to marry Jane Seymour. 1 year, 10 months. She died in childbirth. Anne of Cleves. He was married to her for 6 months and they divorced. Then Catherine Howard for 1 year and 7 months, and she was beheaded because I think he wanted to go marry Catherine Parr. was an Airbnb, and they had books. They had all these books about Henry or something like that. I forget. But I was reading them and I found it interesting. Okay. All the little like beetle bugs on here. It's kind of cool. And in the cemetery with all the stuff. Elizabeth the First. She was Queen of England in the 1500s. She kept her head about her. Oh, so she was one of his daughters. Her father, Henry VIII, was enraged. She wasn't a prince. Oops. Oops, I'm a girl. Men have ruled women for an awful long time. Let's see. Oh, we may have to read this. I don't know anything about this woman. Oh boy, I don't know. Alright, Shakespeare plays written during the reign of Queen Elizabeth. A few of the people buried or commemorated in Westminster Abbey. William Blake, Robert Browning, Lewis Carroll, Geoffrey Chaucer, Sir Winston Churchill, Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens, George Handel, Samuel Johnson, Martin Luther King Jr., Sir Isaac Newton, and William Shakespeare. Pocahontas, royal hostage. Born Virginia 1596, died in England in 1611. Holy smoke, I didn't realize this. She was only 21 years old. That I didn't know. She was just a young woman. I did not know that. She was only 11 years old when she met Smith. Wow, that kind of changes that Disney movie, because wasn't it like she was all in love with him? Wow. Hold on, I might have to look at this. She was a Native American princess, the daughter of Chief Powhatan. Today, princess can mean spoiled brat, even though she was the real deal. I don't know why this person wrote that. Pocahontas actually means spoiled child in her language, so maybe things haven't changed all that much. But for sure, her life wasn't anything like what we've seen in movies showing Pocahontas and John Smith as being practically engaged. So she was 11 when she met him. No one likes mentioning what really happened. It went like this, okay? She was used, duped, captured, taken to England, and exhibited as living, breathing proof that savages could be civilized. Except Pocahontas wasn't living and breathing for long. Her early life was idyllic as she skipped here and there around her lush digs with their ponds, woods, maze on the cob, in what was eventually known as the state of Virginia. So, John Smith came along to civilize the natives and seize everything in sight. He was on the brink. Oh, Chief Powhatan, I don't know if it's Hatton or Houghton, fought the settlers and took their guns. He was on the brink of beating John Smith's brains out when, according to Smith, Pocahontas threw herself over Smith and saved his life. Mind you, she was 11. The chief allowed Smith to live after he promised the chief that no more settlers would be coming, which we know was a lie, because John Smith turned out to be the first of a gazillion John Smiths, eventually in Virginia. As more settlers arrived, Smith left the colony without even a thank you. So she stopped helping the settlers, and without Pocahontas, there was no peace. Oh boy, can't read all this, but what a story. I'm gonna have to learn about this. So, who's this Rolfe guy? They baptized her and renamed her Rebecca and married her off to John Rolfe, the luckiest guy in Virginia. Rolfe got Pocahontas' land and he planted tobacco all over it. They had a son named Thomas. Pocahontas couldn't escape. She was scared to death, completely made over from a deerskin-clad, outdoorsy girl into a corset and bonnet-wearing indoor lady. Rolfe liked what he saw and decided to take Pocahontas and son to England on a promo tour so he could get more money for the colony and for his tobacco farm. Oh boy. And here he is, having her up on a barrel to show her off. She was paraded around London and became a celebrity. She began to cough from the filthy air. At the time, London was a giant petri dish of germs. Without immunity to these foreign germs, she was like a sheep to slaughter. She was still having trouble breathing. No one knew exactly what she was suffering from, but she was in decline. After waiting months for a good sailing, Rolfe couldn't wait to get back to his tobacco farm. It didn't matter that Pocahontas was barely breathing. She was loaded aboard his ship along with their 2-year-old son, who was also ill. But they didn't get far. The ship docked at a town of Gravesend, and Pocahontas went ashore to get medical attention. However, there is no record that a doctor ever helped her. The next thing everybody knew, Pocahontas was dead. She died of either tuberculosis or pneumonia. She was only 21. Instead of taking 2-year-old Thomas back to Virginia with him, Rolfe left him to be nursed back to health and raised by his brother, Henry. So, I guess his brother, so Rolfe had another son, I guess, which means he was probably very old. Rolfe had what he wanted, land and the money to keep farming tobacco. Father and son never saw each other again. Let's see what happened to the son. Pocahontas' son Thomas recovered, grew up, moved to Virginia, got married, and had a daughter. By the time Thomas got to Virginia, his dad was dead. Today, there are 3 million descendants of Pocahontas in England, the United States, and all over the world. How crazy is that? 3 million? All from her having that one son. In the late or early 1600s. Somebody do the math on that. Like, that seems crazy to me. Seems like too many. 3 million. Captain Samuel Argall was the English ship captain who kidnapped Pocahontas by tricking her into boarding his ship. Ugh. Galileo Galilei. Yeah, I did a video about him. Mars, vertebrate, and tooth. Yeah, I think we talked about that too. Lead poisoning, the Roman Inquisition. Yeah, I think that all came up in that video. I feel like it's too thick. Hold on. I guess not. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I was just thinking I want to rewatch the movie Amadeus. I haven't seen it since, I don't know if I've even seen it. I feel like I have, but I don't remember. Leeching. We used to go canoeing in Michigan on the Ausable River, and a lot of times if you like fell in or you went swimming, you'd come out with leeches on you. And one time my sister, she was like kind of sitting in the water talking or something, and when she got up she had just leeches all over her. She freaked out. We're all like, it's fine, let's pull them up. Marie Antoinette. I did not do it on purpose. Yeeks. Yeeks, the guillotine. I would like to go to Paris, and you can go to like the place where they held her, I think. I don't know, someone talked about it. I heard it was pretty interesting. Marie Antoinette's hairdo. Some famous last words. Queen Elizabeth I, all my possessions for a moment of time. All my possessions for a moment of time. I bet that's how a lot of people feel when they're dying, is like all the work you did to get things and possessions you'd give up just to have a little more time with life. Interesting. Benjamin Franklin, a dying man can do nothing easy. Must have been sick. George Washington, 'tis well. John Adams Thomas Jefferson still survives. Robert E. Lee, strike the tent. Emily Dickinson, the fog is rising. Mark Twain, goodbye if we meet. ... Goodbye if we meet. ... It is very beautiful over there. Thomas Edison. Amelia Earhart. KHAQQ calling Itasca. We must be on you, but cannot see you. Gas is running low. That's before our plane went down, I guess. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I have a terrific headache. Oh, uh-oh. Winston Churchill. I'm bored with it all. Malcolm X. This is a house of peace. Pablo Picasso. Drink it to me. Yeah, I like that. I want mine to be drink to me. Getting a card I can put in here. Maybe I'll look at the rest of this. Just a little bit. I don't know. I guess I have a little more time. Here's George Washington getting his teeth pulled out, which, oh, maybe that's the video. There was a video about the Mandela effect, and we talked about Washington's teeth. That may have been the video that person commented. First President of the United States. This is presidents died on the 4th of July. That's wild. That's crazy. These ones died while president. Faces on American money. George Washington is on the $1. Thomas Jefferson, $2. Abraham Lincoln, $5. Alexander Hamilton, $10. Andrew Jackson, $20. Ulysses S. Grant, $50. And Benjamin Franklin, $100. Through that one. Napoleon Bonaparte. The first ambulance. Ludwig von Beethoven. These pages are like just a little bit thick, and it always kind of feels like you have more than one. Sign language A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Wow, these are similar. Is it just the pinky? Is that what it is? It's these two, isn't it? N. So it goes, oh, I see. It's 3. Wow, that's hard for me to do. I think it's M, and then N is 2, so it's like the letter. O, P, Q, R. Oh, what's the difference between these two? I see this O is like this, just like that, and then S is further down the knuckle. Wow. Okay. And then T. I'm not sure. It looks like they're holding this one and then putting these over it. T. U. Oh, U. And then V. U, V. Okay. And then W. And then, boy, you have to have pretty flexible finger. X, Y, Z. Wow, okay. I've never done that before. Edgar Allan Poe, this could have been. Born in Boston, died in Baltimore. And somebody would bring a glass of wine to his grave every year. I think on his birthday, yeah. But then it just suddenly stopped, so that's kind of interesting. We'll have to look at that one. Tuberculosis, rabies, Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Brains. Like, that's a big toe. Manic depressive illness. Cupping. Dickinson's characters. Here's James Garfield. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Frills were